Well, hi there. And I haven't made a video for a while, and that's because I'm a 24-hour caregiver now, so I don't have much time. But a lot of people have been asking for my Twisty Stitch over the past 2 years, and I'm never really going to get the time to show them how to do this 10 stitch blanket in Twisty Stitch for a while, but I will get around to it when my life gets more time in it. And I also have a spiral twist in Twisty Stitch as well that's in the works, but that's going to be a while down the road. But I'm just going to show you how to make Twisty so you can start using it right away, and you may figure out how to do your own things there. Okay, so I'm just going to show you what it looks like. Very, very easy stitch. Does have a tendency to curl, so I've come up with a couple tricks for that for my 10 stitch and in my spiral, which I will show you when I actually get around to those videos. But in the meantime, you can just do a garter edge or some kind of an edge on your projects so that you don't have a curl. But here's the kind of texture it has. So I put it on the side, you can see just how textured this is. And here it is on the blue. It looks different on different colors, but it's got a lot of texture to it. This is a Barcelona yarn, and I'm on a 3/4 inch. It's a very thin Barcelona yarn. This doesn't look much like a bulky at all, but it is. It's just a very thin bulky. Some of the colors are thinner than others of the colors. But here's what it looks like in the different colors, even in the black. You can see all the texture. So a lot of texture to this stitch. There, in the gold you can see. And then from different angles. There's what it looks like. And then the other side looks fine too. There's what it looks like. I do a close-up. So I'm just going to get started with a loom, and then I'm going to show you how to do the stitch. For a cast off and a bind on, I will link them on my channel so you'll have one you can use, and there you go. We'll see you in just a few. Okay, I started a piece to show you the Twisty, and I'm using a Barcelona yarn. I don't have the label anymore, but I know they still carry this color. I'll just go down here and show it to you. You may recognize it. And I haven't done very much, but as you can see, I'm starting to get the nice textured look right here. And I'll do a little more and you'll be able to see it more, but this is with a thicker yarn, just to show you. Okay, now it's a very easy stitch. I just did an owl eye edge. I have no idea if that will be enough to keep it from curling. Like I said, you might want to do a garter edge, but this is just to show you the stitch so you can experiment with it and see what you can do. Okay, so here's my yarn, and let's get a little closer so you can see it. I'm just going to go over very loosely and do a U-wrap. And then leaving it loose, I'm just going to go back the other way in front of it. So here I am, I'm going back over the same peg, knitting it over, and then coming from the back over, doing a U-wrap on the next peg. Knit it over, come back the other way, nice and loose, and knit it over. Now if you do it tighter, you won't get as much of a textured look, but it still will have a texture. If you can't knit loose, it will still look fine. So I knit over, come back this way, knit over, come back this way, knit over, and we always come from the back of the peg over to do the U-wrap on the next peg. So U-knit backwards over to the next peg from the back, you knit, and then I'm just going to rewrap the peg because I'm going to do an owl eye border. Knit it over, come back, knit it over, and then one more knit on this. Now, as I said, I'm not sure how well this will be. It might, if in my 10 stitch, of course, it's enough to keep it flat, and I would only have to do the outer layer with more to it to keep it from curling, maybe even a couple purls in the outer layer. But I just wanted to do this to show you the stitch so you wouldn't have to wait for any of my project videos. It could be quite a long time, maybe even a year before I can get back to them. But you can see the texture in here. With the thick yarn, you just get a texture like this. I created this stitch because I wanted to have a textured look on some projects, and so far I've just been doing the 2 blankets in it, but it would be nice on anything, a scarf or anything. You'd have your textured one on the outside and the smoother edge on the inside. And I'm just going to do a little more, and then we'll see what it looks like. And I'm also going to see if I can quiet that bird down by giving him a nice treat. He wants to be too loud today. Okay, see you in a few. Okay, so I've done a bit more. Now you can see more what the stitch looks like. Has a nice amount of texture. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to bind this off. This will be a swatch so we can look at it and see how well an owl eye edge does, but I don't know if it'll be enough. And I do know I need some rows here because I can already see that might curl up. So I need maybe four to 6 rows of owl eye before I start, or garter or something like that. Okay, so I'm just going to bind this off. We can have a look at it, and then I'm going to show you what Twisty Stitch looks like in the round in case you want to use it for a round project. Okay, so I set up the loom again, and I'm doing a swatch in the round, and when you look at this, you're going to think, oh, that doesn't look like it's in the round, but this is how I do my in the round swatches so I can compare it to my flat knit swatches. Okay, so I just did it the same. I put on 10 stitches, same yarn, same loom. It's the Doris 36 peg 3/4 inch loom. So I've been going this direction, so I'm just going to do Twisty Stitch. And go all the way to the end, and in this case I might as well do twisty all the way, even the end peg, because I'm doing this in the round. Now when you do something in the round, you're going around and around and around, so you're always going the same direction. So if I'm going this direction, which I've just knit down here, I'll always be going this direction. So instead of going all the way around the loom and taking forever to get my round swatch, I'm just going to take the yarn, put it behind, and go back to the first peg. So you see I have these strands of yarn here, but this is just a swatch to see what it looks like in the round. And I come back and do the twisty here. And just keep doing the twisty. So there is one way to do a round swatch to see what a stitch looks like in the round. Because you're going again and again in the same direction, they always look different. Okay? So here I am with twisty, and we can already get an idea of how it looks different. Do you see how the stitch is coming straight down? It still has a lot of texture. It'll look beautiful in hats and cowls and other round pieces. Leggings it'd look nice in too. Add some texture and mix it with other stitches. But that's all there is to it. To do a swatch in the round, all you have to do is do enough stitches to see what it looks like. I like to do at least 10, depending on the stitch. If it's done over more pegs, then I'll do a lot more than 10 to get a swatch that tells me what's going on with the yarn and the loom I'm using. Almost started doing the wrong stitch there. and then just going around the back, and this is my swatch in the round. So I'm just going to put you on pause and do enough that you can really see what the stitch looks like, and so we can compare the two looks. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so I've gone around a couple more times, and there's enough here for you to start to see here what it looks like. It's got lots of texture, but it's a different look, see? Okay, so I'm just going to bind it off, and then when it's laying there flat beside the other one, we can look at how different they are. This will give you a good sense to how you wouldn't really match if you did a hat and a scarf in Twisty, unless you did a tube scarf. I mean, because your stitches don't look the same, but they both have texture for your projects. Okay, so I'm just going to bind this off, and then we can compare the two stitches. Okay, here's the two laying side by side, and as you can see, they look very different. So this is the flat panel, and the stitch you can see is going this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, because you're going back and forth. So it gives you this kind of a look and lots of texture. I don't think the camera picks up all the texture that you get from this stitch. But it worked fairly good with the owl eye edge. It doesn't look like it's curling there. It looks like on the top and bottom I would need more rows of owl eye. But you could also do a garter border. But feel free to try different things and to mix it with stitches to get a different look and some texture. Okay, so there's what it looks like. And then when you look at this one, the stitches are going straighter. And of course you always stretch out your work. I can only stretch it out so much because of these strands at the back, but this is the one. It's what it's going to look like in the round, and it's going to give you lots of texture too, but in a different way. It looks like this way, and it's nice and smooth on the back too, but a couple close-ups and you can see that they look like different stitches. There, this one, because that pulls in the back. But this is a quick, easy way to get what something looks like in the round. Because if you've ever done a project and you've done it in a flat panel and you've done it in a round and say, look, they don't match, it's because of the way your stitches are going. And there's lots of stitches that don't look the same in the flat and in the round. But there you go, there's the two stitches. Give you a close-up for the last time. That's Twisty Stitch, flat panel, and in the round. So I hope you make a lot of projects and enjoy using this stitch. I really didn't want to make you wait until I made projects. I will be releasing some of my other stitches and stitch videos whenever I have time. But for this video here, it took me 3 different days to actually put this all together and make the video because I have so little time. So they won't be coming out very frequently like they used to until my time frees up. But I will try to give you as many of my stitches as I can. Okay, bye now, and we'll see you again.